Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel and I like to eat. I know some of you are like, obviously we can tell. But hey, sometimes you got to go on diets and things like that. And for that, you need to count calories and fat and all that sort of thing. Numbers come into play into food. And that's the point of today's games. We got Salad Master and Meat Master. Now, these are not the same game, although they play exactly the same way, but there are differences in them. In here, know your stats of meats. And here, know your stats of fruits and vegetables. How does it work? Let's take a look. Each game comes with a deck of 60 cards. So either the meat card is made up of meats and the salad is made up of, well, fruits and vegetables here. And so you'll see the name of the thing, a picture of it. So we got beef tenderloin. It even shows you where it is on the cow. Well, that's nice of them. And corn, it tells you how much weight. It's 100 grams here. On the back side are a bunch of stats. And this actually keeps the two games from being combined because while they both have calories, here you have 177 kilocalories, 341 kilocalories, and they both have protein, 20.8 grams and 8.6 grams, the other two stats are different. So here we have fat and we have cholesterol, and over here we have carbohydrates and dietary fiber. And there are cards that show you these. You can put them in the middle of the table just so everybody knows what is what. What's going to happen is you're going to draw 3 cards at the beginning of the game. So beef tenderloin, scallop, and beef tongue. We'll take a look at the meat ones. And you're going to put them in a little card tray where you can see the front of them. Everyone else, though, is looking at the back, and they can see all the stats there. You're going to have a deck of objective cards, and 3 of these cards are going to be face up. So one person on their turn, they might say, you know what, I'm going to go with the second most protein. And then they're going to play a card. They can see everybody else's cards, but they can't see what their own is. So they'll play a card, and then maybe the next person plays this, the next person plays this, and the next person plays wild boar. So when that's done, we turn all the cards over, 20.8, 6.9, 23.9, 18.8. So the second most is the beef tenderloin. Hey, that was my card. I get this objective card. There will be 2 piles of cards in the middle. Players will refill. They get to pick which one they want. Ooh, I'll take some chicken wings. Ain't no thing like that. You'll put it in your tray, and then we add another objective card to the 2 that are face up, and the next person will pick one, and you go on. So you can see that the cards themselves, fewest protein, second most protein, most. So it's just fewest, second most, and most of the 4 different stats. There are 12 of these cards. You can see all sorts of things in here. They're from all over the world too, like you might not have eaten lotus root before, or dragon fruit, or a matsutake mushroom, or burdock. But there's also things that you do know, like you probably know avocados and onions, Chinese cabbage and asparagus. As we look through the meats, you saw that there was wild boar, and there's a lot of meat that people know, but there's also horse. And let's see what there are. There's some interesting ones in here. Pufferfish and frog. And let's see, we got conger eel. And you can see a lot of these. You probably know what they are. But every once in a while, there's just there's some unusual ones in here. Sparrows. Anyhow, the first person to get 3 of these cards, these objective cards, is the winner of the game. Now, in each of these boxes, there is 240 different stats. 60 cards, 4 stats on each one. I suppose you could memorize them. I haven't met anyone who can. I cannot. So I think the game has replayability. You will learn things like, that kind of meat has a lot of calories. This kind of meat has less calories. And some of that stuff, you know. Although there definitely were times we flipped a card over and everybody was like, no. But we just accept the game as is. This game is a little similar to a popular game out there called Timeline, in which you're putting cards in order based on when something happened as a certain date. This one has some similarities to that, but there are a few things. So first of all, you've got to realize going into this when you're playing Salad Master, Meat Master, you're definitely playing games from the East, and so there's going to be a lot of meats and vegetables in here you may or may not know. I find that to be super fascinating and interesting, but some people might be thrown off by that. They're like, I never heard of that, so how on earth would I know how many carbohydrates it has? Well, here's your chance to learn. I do really wish they had found some way to combine these together. Combining them together, I think, would have added a lot to it. As it is, you can get both of them, but you're basically playing the same game. It's just meats or veggies. And I found that when I do play with people, they might have a strong opinion as to which one they play. Some people are like, yes, meat. Some people are like, no, meat. But either way, they kind of play the same way, but you can't mix them together, which kind of does lower a little bit of replayability. Mixing them together, I think, would have been able to... Then you have 120 cards, and now it gets much more interesting. I like the game fine. I'm giving it a 6.5. It's almost there. It's almost to something that I want to play more often. For me, it's an amusing game. I've played it several times with a variety of game groups, including people who play very few games, and they all enjoyed it. But it just is, it has a strong feeling of we played it, we're done. A kind of a once and done type thing. Because a lot of it you really are guessing at. I don't know a whole lot about the different carbohydrates and stuff, but when it comes to chestnuts, I don't know, for example, there's 147 kilocalories in these chestnuts. I had no idea on that, and I didn't even have any sort of way to pull that information to say, that seems like a right answer. I'm just guessing. Now, there is the idea that you get to see everyone else's numbers, and that's okay, but that doesn't really help you. You just see the cards they throw out there, and you're like, ooh, well, they threw out a low one, so we're going for the lowest. I need to find something lower than that, but you still don't know what's on your own cards. The rules say, hey, you can try to talk each other, lie to each other, but that doesn't really work in this kind of game. So by you watching this, you'll know if this is something that you're interested in. I know some people, this will be really fun for them. It's kind of a neat idea here. And I like it too. I just feel like that it has a somewhat limited time span on this one of playing it. It's fun. It's interesting. It's kind of an amusing thing. Like, hey, you want to play Meat Master? We're like, yeah, we play Meat Master. But then no one ever asks to play it again because you've seen almost the whole game in one shot. So that's kind of where I'm sitting on these. They're fun. I just worry about putting one on my shelf at my house and how often it gets pulled off. So that's Meat Master and Salad Master. I am apparently a master of neither. But I am Tom Vasel. You've been watching The Dice Tower. We'll see you next time.